Welcome back to another video. Bradford City have just defeated Sutton United 1-0 at home to go within 2 points off the top 7. We are well and truly in a playoff race at this moment in time. Everything can change with a drop of the hat. Teams have games in hand on us, but at this moment in time we are in a race and we have to keep this race up. We've got to keep winning football matches. Is that 13 wins now in the season? So we're getting those wins up, and I always look at the wins, and I think if you can get a certain amount of wins, you're probably going to be in and around there. So yeah, let's have a look. We're on 12 wins now, so I've said about 20 wins we need, so I think we need another 8 wins from our final 13 games. So it's going to be tough, but every game that you get a win, it's another box ticked off, and it's another green tick that you get next to your name, and that's 3 wins in a row. It's 5 games unbeaten at Valley Parade, which is huge for confidence and to build the atmosphere up at Valley Parade. And the atmosphere was better today because you're seeing a group of players that are committed to the badge, committed to the manager, the players, committed to each other, and they're committed to the fans. And I think you can see that at this moment in time. And the big thing we've seen is a mentality change from Hughes to Alexander. The last 5 minutes, obviously, we sat back on that lead because you have to. You'd be naive not to do that. But we're still pressing at them, and we're still trying to restrict them and not to sit in too deep. And I think that's a really important thing. And we set up with 5 defenders in the 11, but I think Sam Stubbs naturally, when crosses were coming into a building momentum on the edge of a box, was sort of wandering back into a back line, which is understandable, but he wasn't playing as a centre back, which is good to see, and he didn't have many other options. I mean, I thought Tompkinson would have been starting there. I would have probably gone with Tompkinson myself, but then when I think about it, it makes sense because I didn't like how throughout January we're mixing the back line up. I've said that numerous times, and you're probably bored of me saying it, but I think consistency is key to build partnerships, and that back three's got a really strong unit and partnership, really good bit of cohesion between them now. So I think that's important not to break it up, and Alexander didn't break it up. He went with Stubbs in midfield, and I think Stubbs reads the game well. I think he's good at intercepting play, so I think that made sense on that. But I think with a lack of pace and not being the best on the ball, I had my questions around it, and certainly although it's a winning team, he can't keep playing Stubbs in midfield because that would be stupid to say the least. And then Rydell had to play as well because Gilead had to come in midfield. McDonnell had to be dropped. I mean, I wouldn't have played Rydell. I feel like maybe a centre back had to go into midfield unless you go with a Poynton, or that type of play, or you risk McDonnell for 60 minutes. So I feel like that had to happen. But then Rydell, I think you could have gone with a more attack-minded winger. But do not question Graham Alexander, because it will come back to bite you on the backside. And question a few of the players as well, and that will come back to bite you on the backside. Andy Cook's had a lot of questions on him this season. He's still got 14 goals, 15 goals this season, around that tally anyway. Clark O'Dra, huge critics, and suddenly he's turned into a real player that I resonate with. He gets the ball, he drives at players, and I'll get into his player rating, but I thought he had a fantastic game again today. And I just like the bond of the team. But, when you get wins, you build morale. We're building a connection with the home fans now, slightly. And like we were sort of saying earlier before I drifted into this conversation now, Alexander's mentality compared to Mike Hughes is streets ahead. We did sit on leads, but not just that. I felt like heads dropped, and over the past 3 months under Alexander, there's been moments where heads have dropped. Throughout January, it was dry January. We were really poor and trying to find a consistent team, and we sort of went back to basics. But one thing I want to say is I'm confident in this team. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I'm not saying that we're not gonna, but I'm confident in this team that we are not gonna concede going into a match. Teams have their moments, and we ride the storms out. Sutton had 2, 3, 4 really good goal scoring opportunities, which led to some really top class saves from Sam Walker at this level. So he was pivotal to getting this win again. A fantastic signing that it's looking to be. And then going forward, I'm I mean, we didn't score against Wimbledon. We didn't look like scoring, but the last 3 games, even though we haven't created a lot of chances, I've been confident that we're going to find a way to get the ball in the back of the net, because we don't create a lot, but the chances we do create are massive chances that, you mustn't be a good enough player, or you mustn't be having a good day at the office if you're not going to score. Andy Cook didn't today, but thankfully Cavan has stepped up and got a really good goal from a fantastic ball from Odra. We're really incisive with our passing in the final play, which is good to see, but then we create a lot of chances from crossing situations, and we end up with a lot of sort of scruffy 6-yard box sort of goals, and that's because we're working hard to get the ball in the right areas. So I think going forward, I'm pretty confident we're going to score again. It's not guaranteed, but I'm confident that we're going to create a big chance. And then defensively, I'm confident that we're going to keep a clean sheet. And when you build those foundations and you build a team that's got that winning mentality, they don't want to drop back, they don't want to sit back and soak pressure up and put pressure on themselves, they want to keep going for games. And this team at the minute is looking like this team I can really get behind, and I think a lot of people are feeling the same. But the question is, how long is this going to go on for? If it goes on for 10 games, we're well in that race. But if it goes on for a couple more games, or if it ends on Saturday, that's when I have my doubts again over the mentality, because that's something that we've seen all season, over the past 6 years maybe, mentality of players. But at the minute, if I don't want to bring it down, but I can't say anything bad about one single player that's played in the last 4 games, maybe 5 games, and that's from the subs as well. Everyone's played the part. I'm not a fan of Rydell, but he played his part in a win today. I don't think he had a great game, but he played his part, and that's all you can ask for. Everyone who gets involved plays the part and gets behind what's going on here at the minute. And like I say, if you ever want half-time entertainment, or you want to laugh at half-time, go on Twitter and have a look at the comments to the half-time score or something like that, because there was a big overreaction for me anyway. I thought the first half we were strong. I thought if Cook scores those 2 chances, we're 2-0 up, everyone's happy, and of course saying playoffs is getting talked about like it probably is now. I thought we created 2 chances that should have been put in the back of the net, and we defended well. And at first half, Sutton, for me, didn't look like scoring at all. That they had a threat, but I thought we dealt with that threat really well, and saw those dangers out and hit them on the counter. And I think that's something that we did well. At home, under Hughes mainly and other managers, we've really struggled against teams that who are coming at the bottom end of the table. But I think it's also how Sutton set up. Sutton didn't really set up how you'd traditionally expect a Sutton side to set up under Matt Gray, but also a Sutton side that are down near any side that's down near the bottom. You expect them to come up for a point and sit deep, and they didn't really do that. So whilst I'm happy that we got over what could have been a banana skin, there's other teams that will ordinarily, because that's their style of play, sit back and come for a point like Wimbledon did. And will we struggle against those teams more than Sutton, who actually came pressing, trying to create overloads down the flanks, and they didn't do that well enough because they haven't got the squad or the players. And against top quality teams, I think we'll struggle a bit more. But I'm not bringing it down, because I did have my doubts going into this game that we won't get over the line, and we did. So like I say, every player deserves a lot of praise from that to get over the line. But it's all about the next game. We can talk about how many wins we need to get in the playoffs traditionally. How many of those wins do you think you can get? All those type of questions, let me know in the comments down below. But I think pragmatically, you've got to look at it and go, it has to be a game at a time, because teams will drop points here and there. We're probably one of the form teams in the league now, which sounds ridiculous, but there's teams behind us that will put a run together. There's teams ahead of us that will fall away. I mean, Barrow have lost the last 3 games. I don't think Barrow have gone in a run this season where they've lost 3 games in a row. We've got them next. That's a fantastic opportunity to maybe put them under real pressure. If they lose to us, that's 4 games without a win. If we get a point, or if we beat them, that's 4 games straight defeats, and then maybe the wheels are coming off there. I think that's a real opportunity for us to close down the gap on Barrow and maybe get into the playoffs, because it's possible. But my doubts are, we played 33, Accrington 32, Gillingham 32, Morecambe 31, Notts County 32, Wimbledon 32, and Harrogate 32. Everyone above us, apart from Barrow and Crewe, and Crewe, they're the only teams that have played the same amount of games as us. So there's only 2 ahead of us, and there's obviously teams behind us who have a few games in hand as well. So teams can close the gap on us as well. But it's all about us. We need to keep focused on winning. Need to take it a game at a time, and hopefully, maybe we book our place at Wembley on Wednesday night as well, because that's a fruitful looking game as well now. So real momentum, real positivity, and when you look at the clips from the players, you look at how the manager speaks about the players as well. They seem like they're a buzzing group. They're buzzing like bees in that dressing room, and I'm sure that morale will have just been lifted again. And you keep building these wins, you're building the platforms to get into that playoff push. And I'm really excited now for the next few games, and hopefully we can continue it. Been to the Ref Watch, Mark Edwards, remember the name, because he's going to be one that I remember next time we get him to talk about in a preview. Wow, what a terrible performance he had. I do remember him having a couple of poor games against us before, but today he's up there. That performance was up there with is it Boyson, Carl Boyson, is it, Kettle, and Drysdale. I think he was pushing on that. He booked their goalkeeper for time wasting. I think it was not putting the ball on the spot for dissent. Probably understandable the way he was gesturing towards the referee, but the fact was it wasn't really far from where the line was. So I thought that was a bit petulant from the referee and a bit petty. He kept going over towards Luchetti and their throw-in takers, I think, and rittering on about stuff. He didn't give them. I think they had 2 penalty shouts, but they definitely had one with Angle. It was never a penalty, so I'll praise him for that, for not caving in, because that could have gone wrong for us. But it was only a tap on the shoulder. It was never a penalty. And then there was one with Kelly. I thought I'd have to see it again. I've only seen it once, and I thought, oh, Gary Neville came out, and I thought, oh, he's in trouble. But he didn't give it, and I thought, right, we might have got away with one there. So I'd have to see that again, where Kelly sort of, I think he was a bit late. Tompkinson got booked for being late to a foul as well. But there were a few other decisions that it were niggly. But on the whole, how can I forget? I knew there were a big decision that went against us. Half time, the Wally decides to play a minute on, right? And which is his fault. It's his mistake. He gives us a free kick, goal scoring opportunity. Cook, I think he was onside, but he blew before the ball was kicked. So how can you judge if a player's offside before then? I've listened to referees on podcasts before. I can't remember the names, but I've listened to a few of them on podcasts, and they've said strictly if they feel they've got a decision wrong for the free kick or corner, or if they've gone over the time and they realise that if that goal goes in, they're going to get in trouble for that, because they've made a mistake leading up to it. So they'll ordinarily blow for the opposition to get the free kick back, and then blow the whistle if it's for going over the time of half time. They've said that, and he's definitely done that there, and that's bottling it, because it was a mistake in the first place, and that could have, it could have cost us a game. That if we go and score from there, and then we're 1-0 up at half time, and we didn't do out in the second half, that it could have cost us, but it didn't, thankfully, because of a fantastic goal by Cam Kavanagh, who I'm sure I'll get into later on in my player ratings. But let me know yours in the community tab or in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below as well. The support on the Lost Bit video, fantastic, 41 likes, a few subscribers from it as well. We're now 13 subscribers away from 300, which is amazing, really, because I only hit 250 subscribers a couple of weeks ago. It seems like last week, but I know it wasn't last week. But yeah, and that's incredible. So thanks for the support. It's massively appreciated as ever. And let's see what we can get to towards the end of the season. Thank you very much. So Sam Walker in goal. He gets I want to give him a 5, because I don't know. I don't give 5s out a lot, but what else could he have done? He made a fantastic save where he just clawed it over the line, sort of David Seaman-esque, against Sheffield United, I think it was in the FA Cup. Fantastic save there, great reactions to drag it across. Kick claimed so many crosses again. I can't remember if the goal came from from him rolling it out quickly to Halliday, or if that were after. But he created a good chance through that. Brilliant kick down the ground for Cook to flick on to Kavanagh, I think it was. Again, nearly got a shot off, so great distribution there. And then some big saves where he had to stand tall and make them. Smith cut inside on his left, hit it. He had to save it, and it was a good save. There was one that he palmed out towards the corner flag, but the ref gave a goal kick for, and it was never a goal kick. Didn't even go out a play on that line, so it was more of a throw-in, I think it was. But yeah, another terrible decision there by Mark Edwards. But yeah, Sam Walker was absolutely fantastic again today, and it just breeds confidence to a back line. Fantastic. I'm going to give him a 5. Who cares? We won. Let's have a party. Tomkinson, he gets a 4. Again, really dominant up against some. I mean, Lee Angle's quite physical. We know all about him. But Harry Smith, he's won 256 aerial duels before today, and he scored 4-headed goals as well. Cook's won 242 aerial duels before today as well. So I think he's won the most aerial duels in the league. He's a big dominant striker, and he's going to cause you problems. And Tomkinson, Platt and Kelly all dealt with him really well today. And Tomkinson was fantastic again, using his pace in the back line. I thought distribution of ball is normally fantastic. He was a bit shaky, I think you could say, but certainly give the ball away a lot more than we've seen over his time at City. But again, a fantastic performance again from John Tomkinson. Matty Platt gets a 4 out of 5 as well. Came off in the 70th minute for McDonald for Stubbs to go into centre-back. I hope that's not serious, but dominant, fantastic performance from Matty Platt. Kieran Kelly, he gets a 4 out of 5. A really good last-ditch tackle in behind their defence, which I think it was 2v1 at the time. And again, really dominant, really good performance from Kieran Kelly. Liam Rideout, he gets. I'm going to be generous. I'm going to give him a 4 out of 5. He played a terrible cross, which went the full length of the pitch, which I'm sure he'll know he could have done better with. Defensively, I thought he again could have done better, but we won. I want to be generous and I want to give as much praise as I can, but I thought he could have done better. But for Rideout, I say he's off the pace, and he is. And I do think we could have played better options there, even though we didn't have a proper left wing back to really play without Rideout there. It's more natural to that position, but they didn't really threaten us, and he had a solid enough game. So I'll give him a 4 out of 5. Brad Halliday, again, 4 out of 5. Does he get my man of match? No, he could have done, because a lot came down our right side. They were shocking, absolutely shocking down their left side. Amari Patrick, we know what to expect from him. No effort, lazy, pace on the break, but he offered nothing today for Sutton United. Really poor, and he should be disappointed with his performance today, because he didn't help out his left back in. He's only 19. He actually turns 20 when we play Barrow on Saturday. God, this is a name. Sashiel Nino Junior Adam Malarkey. So we'll call him Adam Malarkey, I think. He struggled today, and he didn't really look that bothered, to be honest. To say during a relegation battle, there were instances where Brad Halliday burst down the right flank, and it was actually for Cook's sitter that he should have scored. Really, it bobbled in front of him, but he should have cut across it instead of side footing it. And I thought he was leaning back, but again, I've only seen that one, so benefit of the doubt there. But he just stopped running, let Brad Halliday just walk into a penalty box. Shocking defending. And we did that time after time down that right flank, and Brad Halliday certainly enjoyed his time down there, but defensively as well, he gets it. Some players would back out of some challenges or won't go into them, especially down his side, because the conditions down there were absolutely atrocious. And he just doesn't stop. Fantastic. He is the definition of what you want to see. And again, he amazes me how consistently amazing he is. So Brad Halliday, fantastic again. Sam Stubbs, 4 out of 5. Credit to him. I've been singing the praises of Gilead and his transition from playing versatile, doing whatever he wants, playing wherever he wants, and playing to his maximum standard wherever he is. But Sam Stubbs, I don't think he's ever played defensive midfield. I'm sure, he may have played there one day, but like I said earlier, he's good intercepting the ball and breaking up play, reads the game really well, but he's a bit slow and clunky, and on the ball I'm not his biggest fan, but like I say, he did slot into a bit of a centre-back position at times, which did pile pressure on us. But I think in the main, he was quite solid and consistent and read the game well. Broke up play, made it hard for them to get past him in a one-on-one. I thought they found it easy to pass through the midfield with Stubbs in there, because at times he'd push too high in a sort of number 10 position, or he'd drop too deep into a number 5 position, if you like. So I felt they found it easier to pass through the midfield when Smallwood and McDonald's in there with a Gilead. But on the ball, he just helped us get out a bit and won a few free kicks. So I thought he was as good as he could have been to see. He's never played that for City, so I can't comment anywhere else. But it certainly wasn't his natural position, and credit to him, because it takes a character to say I will play there, and he looked up for it to get his place back in the team. Kavanagh, now he gets 45, and I love this lad. I love this lad. He shows what you want to see in a young lad who would, you think, be coming through if he's, say, 20. When does he turn 21? He turns 21 on 5th of September. So I think just give him these 6 months, 4 months or so, to the end of the season. Just keep playing him and see what he does, because he's got 2 in 2. He's got an eye for goal. He's got quick feet, dynamo feet, magic feet, and I just love his tenacity, and he's got a quick burst of pace, gets close to Cook, is a live wire, and is a player that, I love him. I think he's great, and a good pick from the scouts. You've got to give the credit when it's there. I think you've got to praise them when they're doing well, but you've got to make sure you criticise them when they're doing bad, and I think you've got to get that balance right. And I think with a Kavanagh, I do like the look of him, but it's early days, and he's got to make sure that he keeps that effort level up, because if he keeps the effort up, I always think if you give 100%, the quality is never far away from that, because you're trying your very best, and if you keep trying your best, the quality's going to come at some point. And Kavanagh already getting 2 in 2, it's took a bit of pressure off him, but he's got to keep that pressure on himself to keep putting that effort in, to keep his place in the team, because he's got a Jake Young who's got 16 goals already this season, breathing down his neck. Tariq Wright, already a fan favourite after a good spell on loan last season, a quality player for this level. Clark Odvar is performing. Bobby Pointer, who's again an instant fan favourite, coming through the youth system, breaking through. Everyone wants to see him play. And he's got Adam Wilson, who a lot of fans like from what they've seen. And I'm sure there's a couple of others I've even forgot. Harry Chapman as well accomplished at this level. He'd be down that pecking order for reputation, and when he came in. So to come in and hit the ground running, he's got to make sure he keeps it up, because there's players who are ready to take his place in the team, as we've seen already with a few players this season under Alexander. He's not afraid to cut them loose from the team if he doesn't feel pulling the weight, so he's got to make sure he keeps it up, and if he does, he will become a fan favourite and almost undroppable if he keeps playing how he is. Away from Kavanagh and into Clark Odvar, who gets my man a match. I thought he was, again, like Kavanagh, quick feet, keeping the ball close to him. He played an unbelievable pass through the Ivor Needle to Kavanagh, slotted it away with real composure. And Odvar really composed on the ball, and I've criticised that before because he always goes back with it and never wants to take a player on. I've seen him in the last 2 games now get the ball, drive at a player, try and make something happen. If he tries that, it don't come off, he makes sure he don't lose the ball, and then he passes back and we help retain the ball a bit and calm us down. Uses his strength well, and today what were different to his almost man of match performance against MK Dons was today he showed a real aggression to him and a real desire to get back and track back and work for the team. Past couple of games he's come off at in the second half because he don't feel like he's going to contribute anything defensively. He didn't come off today because he didn't stop. He didn't make an easy option for Alexander Oluketti to bring him off because he was working so hard and everything came down that side. And you've got to give credit to Odvar. He's really upped his game, and again, like Kavanagh, he's got to keep it up. And Andy Cook, he gets a 2. I can't say anything positive about Cook today, apart from he gave their defenders a real battle, and he tried his best to create an attack or to link up. It just didn't work for him today. His chance, it did bobble, but he should have finished it and maybe could have took a touch. And then the header, it's a really well timed one from him, a fantastic ball, I think, by Halliday, and I don't like saying he were complacent, but I think he felt like he didn't have to do a lot to direct it, and he sort of just let it hit his head. I feel like he could have done a lot better with that, and he scores those 2 chances, it's 2-0, and it's game in the bag, and we had to work harder for it. But I don't like criticising him because he has got 15 goals a season. I'm sure that he'll keep performing, and he gets a week off to some players who won't because he don't play Wednesday. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below to that 1-0 win. I have gone on too long, it's 25 minutes long, so I'm sorry if you're going to have to watch that, but let me know your thoughts in the comments down below to a 1-0 win. Playoffs, is it on? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments down below. Like the video if you did, subscribe if you're new. Can we get to 300 subscribers before the end of the month maybe? We're 13 away, so all the support is massively appreciated. Thank you for watching. Have a good one.